So we have this video by Gumball. Hi, hello YouTube, Zeus Reacts here. Watching a video live. If you like what you see, come join the streams. I stream almost every single day, starting at around 6 p.m. EST. So yeah, check me out on there because typically I'm live. Yes. So we're gonna be looking at IdentityV and mental health by Gumball. Gumball has been known to make videos beforehand. He made a video. Hey, I said almost strawberry. I said almost. Don't quote me on that. Anyway, Gumball has been known to make videos previously. The opera singer video. Yes, I do. You know what? We'll get into my streaming schedule later, chat. Don't try and bullshit me now. We'll get into that shit later. Okay. So yeah, let's get started. Reminder, everyone, respect. We're here to just have a different talk and see the opinions, because this is still the IDV community. So some things, I mean, I to be honest, I might still point out, like, if there's a flaw, there's a flaw. So just let that be known. I'm very blunt and straightforward. I don't sugarcoat. I don't believe in sugarcoating. So with that, all that being said, let's us get started.
I've been wanting to make this video for about a month.
Let me know how the volume is.
I held off on making it because I needed some more time to think about it, you know?
Real.
I didn't want to just rush into it. I learned my lesson from that.
Ah!
If y'all remember, well, the Dark
It's a
Ages,
little
no,
quiet?
just kidding. It was just not the Dark Ages. It was just, no. So, no script for this. I'm sitting on my creaky ass chair.
Felt that.
And
My chair is like breaking apart.
I'm going to talk about my experiences, some things that I've noticed, and just want to share my general thoughts about
that terror shock.
And how it affects your mental health.
Is the volume good now, chat?
Weirdly, I feel like there's still some kind of stigma around this. Because some people will be like, oh, IDV, it's just a game. Like, why are you taking it so seriously? Like, if you can't handle the heat, then you're not ready for the thunder. But no, that's not how it works. Like, this game is still part of real life. Here's the thing: when you load up on IDV, when you load up on a video game, like when you're hopping on fucking Dress to Impress on Roblox, you're making a conscious decision to expend your energy and your time with this activity, like you could be doing anything else.
The
you could be walking your
dog.
You could be reconnecting with nature. You could be reading a book. You're making some arts and crafts, spending time with your family, your friends.
Don't get hit.
But no, you're hopping on IDV.
Yeah.
Because you deem that this was the best use of your time. And now,
yes.
It is a good use of time. It is fun. It's especially fun with friends, and there is a very nice competitive factor to it. Like, I do like myself some competitive games. I like getting in that competitive spirit. But the thing is that IDV, it's a game that kind of capitalizes off of your dependence and stress. And that is, again, a very blanket term, and there's a lot that goes into it. But it's just something that I've noticed in a pattern that I've seen happen again and again, both with myself and some of the people that I know. So IDV is a competitive ranked game by nature, so nothing that I do is going to change that. Even if I play this game casually, it's not going to change the fact that there is a rank system, and most people play to get their rank points up, get their character points up.
Actually, a majority of the player base is casual. There's actually way less people who actually rank compared to people that just play the game casually. I'm nitpicking, but
get to the next level. There's something very rewarding about that. In fact, it's scientifically proven that there is a very rewarding aspect of video games. It stimulates the dopamine receptors in your brain.
Yep.
And your brain likes that feeling, and it says, you know what, I like this game, it makes me feel good, I'ma keep playing it. But you can fall into a very harmful loop where you depend too much on this feedback loop of this dopamine rush that you get whenever you win a game, that when you start to do bad, or when it comes to other aspects of your life, you can suffer.
Okay.
And I've seen this with myself. So I'm going to be speaking very openly, very honestly. I think this is the first time I've ever said this out loud, so bear with me here. But I started playing this game when I was 15, 16 years old. I
Yeah,
was in
14.
sophomore year. It was during the lockdown, so I didn't really have anything to do other than playing IdentityV. And so the thing about me is that I don't get into games normally. I don't get into activities normally. I put in all of my time into doing one thing. So I was crazy freaking hyper fixated on this game. In all earnesty, not diluting the term hyperfixated, I was fucking hyperfixated on this damn game. I was
Bro,
putting way
why
too
is she?
much
Oh,
time into
Batter
this
has
game.
rage.
That's because it's so rewarding. It's like you don't want to stop
Hey,
playing.
two
There's
bros.
something so good about ranking up. There's something so good about winning matches. Like you
Yeah,
just feel good playing this game.
feels like you're on top of the world, especially when you fucking carry.
But the thing is that there's always the next level, right?
Yup. Whenever you think you're
Like
good,
the
there's always
average
someone
player
better.
isn't going to become an S badge, but they will want to become an S badge. As time went on, I was still playing with friends, but I decided I want to take this game a little more seriously. And so I started looking into game sense, game strategy, started seriously improving my skills. I became a pretty decent and competent player. And then it reached a point where, keep in mind, my mental health was already
Damn.
low. Not going to get into it, obviously. And so IDV kind of became a reservoir for me. I started using it kind of a crux or a distraction. So it wasn't really anything that was particularly engaging to me. It was just an easy way for me to feel good without actually addressing what was making me upset. Hello, Editor Ball here from the phone. A couple things to address, or a couple things to clarify.
Type
I
shit.
did greatly enjoy my experiences playing IDV at this time. However, it was a product of my own circumstance and my own mental health. So, it was a coping strategy, and I had a lot of fun. But as I matured, I realized that that wasn't what it wasn't the
Not
way
good.
that I wanted to face my stressors. You know.
Yes.
And plus, it was exacerbated. Yo, Editor Ball is not happy. It was Fuck! I give up.
Felt that.
And it got worse over time. And at some point, I can't exactly pinpoint it, but
Oh, you're dead.
I started obsessing way too much over my character points, over
That
my
happens.
rank badge, over
That
my win
happens.
rate, because all of that shit, it's displayed publicly. And despite my rational mind, it was like I was trying to prove to this invisible somebody that I was good enough at IDV, and it makes no sense. It makes no sense in
That somebody that you were trying to prove to is your super ego inside of your head. The super ego, the thing that like makes you think and do everything that you want to do because you think you can do it. You were trying to prove it to that fucking piece of shit in your head. That's what you were trying to do. When I say piece of shit, I don't mean like the actual person is a piece of shit. I mean as in your brain fucking hates you. Like your brain does not care about anything that your body goes through at all as long as it still stays intact. So you were just out here trying to prove to the super ego, I am him, I am it, I can do it regardless of how much hell I go through. That's what you were trying to prove. And a lot of people, they don't make that realization and they don't get to that point of like, oh, this isn't worth all the fucking stress I'm going through, because they're only listening to the super ego because it's telling them, do it, go for more, regardless of what happens. It's worth it, even though it's not.
retrospect. But it was a very real emotion. So again, that's the problem I have with people being like, "Oh, it's just a game. Like, if you can't handle it, then it's just the internet. Like, don't take it so serious." Like, it's a real thing. And the thing
Yeah.
is that I was not in a good place mentally. I was still young. Like, I'm 19 years old. Like, I'm not done developing yet. Like, imagine that shit
Hey,
on like a
19 gang.
16-year-old brain, a 17-year-old brain, dude. That
I can confirm, like, while I have matured now, where I just don't care about the game, I literally haven't ranked at all until today. Like, the first session I did was like a 5 a.m. session with Pearl, and then I haven't opened IDV since that 5 a.m. session on Thursday. today will literally be like the day I'm opening up IDV to like play ranked with fucking Abby and Eugene and all of them. So it's like at 16, 17, like I think when my channel first started, there is a stream that I think is still up of me playing Hunter rank, and this is when I was, 15, barely pushing 16, or like I think maybe after I turned 16, but I was still like barely above the age of 16, like sometime around December-ish, right? Like around like COA 4 or 5-ish, I believe, where I was very prideful of my Hunter, even though I wasn't the shit. Yeah, I was probably like the most mediocre hunter out there. Like I could get the job done and maybe go above and beyond in some competitive situations, but that was about it. Like I was an above average player at best when it came to hunter. And there's a stream up to where it got to me so bad when I was losing against people that I thought I should be winning because the ego was telling me you should be winning. Why the fuck are you losing? You like fucking loser, you fucking worthless loser, that I rage quitted off the stream and just ended stream mid match while because I got fucking like 4.5 cipher kited while I was playing Bon Bon. And that was like from like 3.5 years ago, and that's like when like so it's like when this IDV like IDV mental health, like that shit, like it really does affect. However, I do hope that this doesn't turn into a thing of like every feeling and situation it's like justified, because I do think that there are some things that for me personally, because of how I think about it and how I find my ways to cope with certain things, I'm applying this through my eyes and what I would do. It's I don't want to sound like I'm going to invalidate those things, but I don't want it to be a thing of like where everything is okay and under the sun because it's IDV. It's like there are some things where you kind of need to like just deal with the shit or make a decision and then move on because it's just not worth it. So I hope, like, I like the direction the video is going in right now, 7 minutes in. So I hope it stays like that. And if, there's a contrast in opinion, then shit, we'll see.
That shit does things to people. You know what? I was even motivated to record this because, like, the majority of the fan base, or maybe not the majority, I don't know the exact demographic. I don't know how I would get my hands on the exact demographic, but there is a big group of people who play this game that are under 18 years old, and I can tell because I see a lot of it.
The things that you fuckers decide to type and write and say publicly without any shame.
They're a very vocal group, so if they are in the minority, they're a very vocal minority. And it's these people that I feel like are being the most toxic.
Yeah.
Being the most negative, letting this game take the most toll on their mental health. Because as it turns out, when you are being toxic on a game, that kind of speaks to your own psyche.
Yeah.
Hello, Editor Bull here again.
What's
I
up,
recorded
Editor
a
Bull?
whole segment talking about how toxicity is a reflection of your mental health. I didn't like how it turned out, so here's some key points, I suppose. So I basically said, hey, if you're being toxic, that kind of speaks to your own self-image, right?
It does.
I raised the proposal of, I don't think a self-confident person is saying all kinds of nasty shit in post-match. But again, this is just a proposal. I don't know these people. I don't know their thought processes. But it's just a deduction of what I've seen and the conclusions I can make based on my own real-life experiences. Like, it's kind of like high school bullies in a way. Let's get back into it.
But my main point is that there's a lot of young people playing this game. A lot of young people who may not know exactly where their emotions come from, may not know exactly how the things that they do affect them. And so seeing this and seeing how this game can have an impact on your mental health makes me feel worried, right? It makes me think of the 15-year-old me, even the 19-year-old me who's still trying to figure out his emotions. It makes me think of the people that I've seen talk about how this game affects their mental health. I had a friend, I'm not going to name any names, but dude, if you're watching this, I just want you to know that I love you.
Real.
But
love our friends.
He couldn't play Hunter because his anxiety would get so bad that he would start physically shaking.
Okay. This is where a disconnect is gonna start. I'm not gonna lie. This is where a disconnect is gonna start. I'm gonna let him finish. But for me, this is where I begin to disconnect a tad bit.
Dude, dude,
I just lost my room.
IDVs, an actual thing that affects you. And I think we should accept this. I think the more that we accept this, the more that we can start to break down the walls. And so now that we're all in a space where we can fully come to terms with how IDV has an effect on us, because, look, I know some people right now, they might be like, oh, like, I'm completely immune to this. Like, come on now. Even if it was the most minor thing, I'm sure it made your day a little worse. Stop clouding your judgment. Think about this rationally. Think about this without any bias. And just feel with me. Like, let's just discuss, dude. Anyways, I started comparing myself to others. I started thinking, oh, I have to get to high tier, because if I don't get to high tier, then that means my opinions are invalid. Like, I can't actually say what I want to say about this game without fear of looking like an idiot. My win rate always had to be up, because if my win rate wasn't up, then that means I was a bad player. Like, it all stemmed to the fear of looking bad. It all stemmed to the fear of looking like an incompetent player to others. And that's kind of a common thing, I feel. A lot of people are scared to play Hunter because they're scared they're going to do bad. A lot of people are scared to rank because they're scared they're going to do bad. Because this community is so judgmental, this community is so toxic that people feel like they don't have the room to make mistakes, to experiment, to go into rank and do bad, because it's a video game and we're all human and we should be allowed to do bad, even though it's rank, even though your badges are on the line, even though you had 5 games where you lost beforehand because of bad randoms. Yes, I understand that, but maybe if you're having a bad rank session, you shouldn't play rank.
Yo, it's okay to take a break from rank when you're doing bad.
Okay, so I think that my main thing with this, we're gonna go through like point by point, like sit, right? And I'm gonna save the big one for the end of it. I'm gonna save, you know, the main one that everyone quote unquote relates to, right? Okay. So the win rate thing, I would say that shit is just a general thing. Sadly, people are just gonna be dickheads about it. The way I think about it is win rate truly, it does not matter, especially if you're playing by yourself. It truly does not matter. Wow, congratulations. You can win 97% of the time. You can win 97% of the time and still suck at this game. Like, win rate truly does not matter in any sense in this game. It really does not. It's just it's bragging rights for a bit, right? That's really all it is. For the tier for the tier thing, there is truth to that. If you have peaked at Elk 2, I'm not gonna take your opinion seriously about the game. I'm not gonna take your opinion seriously in the game, because you just don't have the experience needed. You don't play the game enough to know to keep up with what is happening in the game, what changes are being made in the game. Just point simply put, like, so yes, there is some truth to that. Low tier opinions truly, like, I again, just being realistic here, really do not matter. Unless you are a low tier that is studying the game and you just don't play the game because you don't have the time. Like, unless you are like that exception to the rule, 99% of the time, the opinion, it truly does not matter. Because out of low tiers, low tier and high tier are like worlds apart. You get so much different shit in fucking low tier compared to high tier. And my example for this is that low tiers think Ivy is worse than Geisha and Blood Queen, versus high tier where Ivy is the #1 most banned hunter. And why is in high tier Ivy the most #1 banned hunter? Because she is that good, and because these players have that good of a grasp on her and how to use her effectively. Low tiers don't have that, because a lot of low tiers are still experimenting. They're still learning about the game. So when you get matched with like a bad Ivy, you think, oh, this hunter isn't shit, even though she is. So for me, like, that reason is why I think like low tier opinions, if like, yes, there is truth to that. Like, low tier opinions just do not matter. because 99.99% of the time you just don't have the experience to actually know of what's going on in the game and how the game is progressing and changing. What if you don't play but watch high tiers and their experiences? That would then be the exception to the rule. That would be like, like you don't play the game, but you still study it religiously. Not religiously, but you still study it a lot and explain the game and still like keep up with the game to know what the meta is. That would be that exception to the rule. Is GSL podcast going to be a thing? Nah, that stuff is cooked. Yeah, no game awareness, exactly, pretty much. I've been trying to explain to my friend that Ivy is really good, but they still want to ban Night Watch, and it's because their experience is when they get IVs, they get these really bad IVs who are just inexperienced, and they win, and they're like, oh, this hunter isn't scary, but it was an IV playing at a very low level. Compared to if they faced like an Ivy playing at a high level, then they would be like, oh no, we gotta ban Ivy because she can do this, she can do that, she can do this, she can end up doing this. Like it's insane. So yeah, for me personally, there is truth in that. Low tier opinions, again, really sorry, unless you're that exception to the rule, your opinions truly do not matter. Like genuinely they don't. Especially in a game that's more so focused on comp. And then there is the big thing. And just sorry, just a quick go back to it, right? That also like plays into quote unquote tier. However, I don't think tier matters as much as your actual game sense and knowledge of the game. You could be a worker bee, but if you keep up with the game and you know how the meta is changing and you like, study the game and whatnot to like at a competitive level, I will value your opinion more than somebody who's hit Titan 150 stars but doesn't know jack shit about the meta and doesn't know like why people are playing these things and what's good about characters. So that's how like those two things kind of tie into each other. But I do think the knowledge check is more of a how much do you actually put time in to learn about the game. What do you call it? Skill level slash skill gap. The skill knowledge has a high ceiling. Yeah, knowledge, like the amount of knowledge you have in the game that you need for this game to keep up with it is up here versus the actual like skill level, which is down here. Just playing the game is down here. Knowing how to play the game is up here. So it's worlds apart. The Titan with 1,500 games and 27% winner. Yeah, precisely.
This is the scariest part of Elden Ring.
My opinion matters because even though I never reached peak tier, I still know that FPX flopped in IVL, and at one point they get better. I've seen Yon actively improving. Exactly, like that's what I'm saying. I don't care what tier you are. If you keep up with the meta competitively and you study the game competitively just because you like to, not you forced to, I will value your opinion more than someone who's hit Titan with like 100 stars because you actually know the game instead of I just spam matches until I hit peak GG. Like that's just that simple. But if you are a player that plays the game casually and then you don't know anything about the game, then yes, your opinion, I'm gonna value the opinion of the Titan compared to the Elk because the Titan at least has some kind of experience versus the Elk who like doesn't have anything. But for me, it's knowledge above all. If you're knowledgeable, your opinion is priority. That's all that matters for me. Knowledge above all else. I don't give a fuck about tier. If you show you're knowledgeable, great. Like, love it. I will gladly listen to you yap. And then the final thing, the big thing, rank anxiety. I'm gonna keep it a whole stack. I have never once in my life felt this rank anxiety thing that people constantly say. I I've never had it. I don't know how people get it. I don't know what like causes it. Like genuinely, never once in my 5, 6 years of playing this game have I ever hit a rank anxiety point where I was too anxious to rank. Never in my life have I felt that because it just doesn't make any sense to me. It doesn't make any sense to me. The fear of failure, yeah, but that's in everything in life though. You go to school, there's a fear of failure. You do a sport, there's a fear of failure. You do anything in life, there is a fear of failure. But there's no point in going into it thinking that you're gonna fail because then why are you attempting it? Me starting YouTube, there was a fear of failure, but there's no point in fearing failure when I'm gonna do it anyway, because I'm not going in with the mentality I'm gonna fail. I know that there's a chance it could, but I'm not thinking about all the possibilities of me failing. I'm just thinking of how can I make sure that I don't fail and what steps I can take realistically to avoid that. That's just it. So for me, it's like post match, and I'm seeing a lot of things about like post match on or off. Like I'm gonna be honest, post match on or off, it shouldn't matter. It really shouldn't matter. I'm gonna be honest. Post match on or off, like these are random children on the internet. These are random children on the internet. I'm not taking the opinions of children seriously. Like I'm just like, okay, like if you want to talk shit in post match, have at it. I'm about to turn 20 years old. I could not give two fucks. I really couldn't. Like, congratulations. But it's like me personally, like I don't know how people have that, because my logic behind this is this, right? If the game is making you feel that anxious that you are physically like shaking, because I've heard of it from multiple people where they're like physically shaking and scared and don't know what to do when they're playing, don't play the game. You should not be forcing yourself to do something that is causing you physical stress to that extent. You just shouldn't be. It's not worth it. So for me, like it just doesn't make sense to me in my head when I hear ranked anxiety when there's nothing to be anxious about. Like it's people on the internet. Like you're never gonna meet these people, you're never gonna see these people. Like all they can do is talk shit and that's about it. And obviously there's gonna be that one person that's gonna be like, oh well, I have diagnosed anxiety disorders and blah blah blah, etc. etc. And to that, I validate you. That is okay. I completely understand that to you with my whole heart, arms open. I completely get that. But if you know you have these, then why play a game that actively incites those anxiety attacks and puts your anxiety disorder at more stress? So that's where like my disconnect with this happens, because I can't, it just doesn't make any sense to me. And I try understanding it, but it's like I've never felt it and I've been playing this game since I was 14. Like I've been playing this game since I was 14 and I've never had it. I know I've raged at IDV. I know I've like destroy, like I know I've like gotten mad when I fuck up or like when other people fuck up. I still do to this day, but I've never felt the pain or like the stress of like, physically shaking and having an anxiety attack. Because for me, I'm again, like this isn't even me speaking as like a content creator. This is me speaking as like someone that studies the brain and studies like mental health for a living and is working to eventually become a therapist. If the game is genuinely making you feel these things and is like actually doing this, genuinely stop playing the game or find a healthy coping strategy and talk to a therapist, because it's not healthy. Like genuinely, don't play the game that seriously. Only play with friends, or don't force yourself to play something because you feel that you have to, because you don't have to do it for anyone. Like on a dead ass, like no, because like it's not worth it, it's not healthy, it's not good, because you're actively hurting yourself. Even though it's not physical, you're actively hurting yourself because you feel that you need to get some quick dopamine rush that you don't even want. Like so it's like, again, like speaking from the perspective of someone who wants to be a therapist and someone who studies the brain and is studying psychology. If this shit is happening, quit the game. Don't play it. Talk to a actual licensed therapist and find other healthy coping mechanisms that isn't playing this game. Because what you do by doing that, by forcing the dopamine rush in your own head, all you're doing is teaching yourself it's okay to have these negative coping mechanisms, and I can end up and I can just stay like this. That's really it. Like, so that's why I'm just like, when I hear hunter anxiety thing, I'm just like, okay, therapist mode. Like, what is this shit? Because I don't understand it. And again, I'm not trying to invalidate people. I don't want it to be seen like I am invalidating feelings in any way, because what you're feeling are still real emotions. And it is perfectly okay for you to feel those emotions. But what's not okay is for you to go back to the thing that's causing those emotions instead of finding a way to deal with them healthily and manage them so you don't feel them again. So that's like that's my whole thing on like the hunter anxiety thing. Like, or survive, just rank anxiety playing this game in general.
Alright.
No cuenta como terapia de exposición. ¿Qué significa? Like, what do you mean? So like, I don't know. That's it. Oh yeah, I can become your therapist, guys. I can become your therapist. When Zeus, when you become a therapist, I'm booking my appointment quickly. Hey, are you gonna play rank? Yes, I will. Yeah, in like the next like 4, 6 years, when I get my PhD and I'm licensed, yeah, you guys can book your appointment. But by then, you actually will have to address me by my actual name. When the rank match so bad, you gotta put on a kids show afterward. Yeah, Zeus name reveal. That'll you'll get that sooner than later. If y'all getting anxious from the game, it's time to stop it. Yeah, quite that's literally it. That's like the TLDR.
Oh my god.
That is like the TLDR.
Word. Stop.
Si tienes ansiedad de hablar y público, vas a hablar de poco a poco en público, por ejemplo. Oh, yeah, small steps, baby steps, yeah. Así mismito. Tú sabes, ching a ching, tú lo coges y ya. Precisely. Slowly build up to going out of your comfort zone. So what unorthodox is pretty much saying is just like a person who has social anxiety, you take baby steps to, speak to people bit by bit until you fully get out of your comfort zone. Like just like that. Just like that. If you do have anxiety when playing the game, slowly build up to getting out the comfort zone, and that's perfectly fine. But don't restrict yourself to it, you know? What am I studying? I'm studying psychology. I specifically want to eventually branch out to go into child psychology. The accent is so strong, yeah. Zeus, you always keep it real. I appreciate you. Thank you, Rabia. I appreciate it a lot. All right then. So I think
Fight this guy.
I think that'll be it. So yeah, time to unpause the video. I know when to YouTube viewers, when you're watching this, let me know in the comments how you feel about it. Yeah, I'm more than willing to have like a psychological in-depth discussion. I like this kind of shit.
You can also find a team. There are ways to find a team. Oh my goodness me. It's gonna be okay.
But we have to
Real.
think about our individual choices. We have to feel responsible for our own actions. We have to be conscious of our own actions. We have to understand what we are feeling, and you have to get to the root of that, right? So that's what I did. I realized, hey, rank is not making me feel good. This game is not making me feel good. It's making me feel anxious. It's making me feel stressed. And when you get anxious and stressed, it has a toll on every aspect of your life.
Studying to
finding
be
my
a nurse.
body
My bad
become
if
more
I can't check your
tense.
vitals. I'm in a
I
rank.
wasn't having a good time at work. I was taking this stress and anxiety, and I was diluting it and squashing it down because I felt like I
want
felt
food. Where's my
stupid for
phone?
having
Oh.
these thoughts, even though that my thoughts were real.
I forgot that I was reading chat off my phone, and I'm like, I want food. Where's my phone? And then I forget that my phone is right in front of me. That's all chat.
And I needed to feel them, so I compressed them, and it just made it worse. It made it so much worse. Until it all kind of tipped off, and I had to take a break. I told myself, you know what, I can't do this anymore. I had to take a break. And when I took a break, I focused on things that actually made me feel good. I got back into reading. I found that I love to read. I got back into writing. I found out that I love to write.
Beautiful. Like, this is what I like to hear. Literally, like, this is what I'm talking about. Finding hobbies that are not IDV to, you know, help. Like, this is Gumball. Amazing video, my brother. Amazing video, my brother. I appreciate you. Like, amazing video, my brother.
IDV still has a place for me, right? IDV is a place for me to relax, for me to have a bit of competitive spirit in a game that I find fun. And as soon as I realized that that was not happening anymore, I had to disconnect myself from that, because why on earth?
Am I
Why
putting
on earth
myself
would I
through it?
continue to engage with a game that made me feel shitty?
Exactly.
So if you are feeling shitty playing this game, if you feel like you are unmotivated to play this game, or if you feel like you have to force yourself to play this game, to force yourself to play rank, if you find yourself stressing over your win rate, stressing over rank, stressing over hunter or survivor or anything, take a break. Really try to sit and think. Try to find where exactly these negative emotions are coming from. Is it coming from an expectation to feel good? Is it coming from a sadness from not getting that dopamine rush? Is it coming from pressure from others, like your other rank members, like the general community? It can be a lot of things. And then use that break to find what is really meaningful to you. I found that I really love to spend time with my dog. When I stopped playing IDV as much, I started spending a lot of time with my dog. And I found that to be so engaging, so rewarding. I love my dog so much. I even started spending more time with my family because, again, I was in a little bit of a depressive episode. A lot of days I was kind of stuck to my bed.
No, you're gonna get hit by the
feeling
trams.
lethargic, down, depressed. And as soon as I took away that coping mechanism, that feeling of comfort, staying within my comfort zone and basically forcing myself to get out there and really come to grips again with my own negative emotions, I could start healing from it. And I found myself naturally exercising more, eating better, spending more time with loved ones. And now I feel like I'm at a point where I can get back into the game. I have gotten back into the game, and I don't take it seriously anymore. Not at all. Because even though this game is competitive, even though there is always a voice in the back of my mind that says, oh, you know, this game is, you'll never be as good as others. It's like, that's stupid. Why would I compare my own experience with this game to others? Look, if you play this game competitively, super competitively, you're in peak tier, you got all the badges, I'm not going to judge you for that. But I'm going to say, is this really what you want?
Yes, the fuck it is. I'm trying to go to Koa. I'm trying to go to Koa. It absolutely the fuck it is. Now, that's not everyone's goal. That's not everyone's goal, right? But if it's not your goal, like quite literally what Gumball is saying right now is literally, if it's not your day job, don't stress yourself out about it. Quite literally. Like, if you care about what someone else's opinion is on this game, you're not getting paid for this game. They're not getting paid for this game. There's no point in caring. Me, I'm quote unquote getting paid for this game because you lovely viewers that are watching the stream give me views, which you know, give me money at the end of every fucking month for this dumbass game, right? So for me, it is somewhat of a job. And I have goals. So me personally, I will be comparing myself. My mentality for this game, yeah, you guys have already given me my shtick on my mentality. My mentality for this game is I'm not allowed to make mistakes. Because if I'm a competitive player, I'm not allowed to fuck up in any way, shape, or form. I literally should only be playing at peak performance, and that's about it. Is it unhealthy? Yes, but that's the standard I set for myself because I'm trying to go to the very top. However, if you're not thinking like that, don't care. Let it go. Let it go all over you like water. You're shit at the game. You suck at the game. Cool. Get a life. You're garbage. Uninstall. Don't care. I have 100k in savings. like literally don't care. Just like it all over you. Let it run like water. It will not, like, it'll make life so much easier. It'll make the community a whole lot less toxic too. If I donated $100 one day, will you do a full wax artist stream? Yeah, I'll do that. I would 100% do that. Damn, bro, trying to be a perfectionist? Sadly, yeah. Can I say something? Yeah. I think a good percent of people really want a rank for the frags and shiny badges. Yeah, that's a majority of people. I would argue that's actually a majority. This face cam is both a blessing and a curse. That I also think, yeah. Wendy, my goats, once said, I have an actual life outside of IDV. Literally, like I gotta work, I gotta pay school, I gotta go to school. Like I like you guys only see me live during around these times. Like once school starts, by the way, enjoy the lives now, because once school starts, like I'm going live like every other week. Like so yeah. However, I will say while it is just a game, remember the kind of thing remember the space that you're in, because obviously in rank people are going to take the game more seriously than people who are in quick matches. So if you're not confident to play rank, then I would say just don't touch rank unless you're playing with your friends. If you're not confident to play rank, don't play rank by yourself, because then people who are confident to play rank by themselves, they're gonna then take out their frustrations and negative emotions on you, and that's gonna breed its own whole other fucking thing. You know, so I would say if you're not confident to rank by yourself, don't rank by yourself. Rank with friends if you want to do that. That's really it. I'll never understand why people want to be toxic in QMs. Yeah, that shit I don't understand either. It's a quick match. Get over it. You're not losing anything. It's a fucking QM. I barely play the game anymore since I. Oh, hi Vina. Everyone say hi to Vina right now. Toxic people in QM is interesting. Yeah.
And I don't say this suggesting that what you think is wrong.
Hi
I'm not
Genshin.
suggesting
Nice.
this to throw your whole life in for a loop. I'm not suggesting this like this game is always going to be bad for your mental health, but I'm just encouraging some introspection. Why do you like this game for its competitiveness?
Mm-hmm.
What does it give you? What does it give you outside of its general presence, you know? Because in the end, when you turn off the iPad, the game is gone.
Yup.
So
When
you
the
just
internet
have to have
goes
a good
out,
balance,
there's no more
and you have
post
to
match.
find a relationship that works with you. There's not going to be any feel good, feel better now strategy for this game, because it all affects us differently. We are all our each individual person, and you have to find that for yourself. I'm not going to tell you
Precisely.
how to engage with this game. I'm just merely sharing my own experience and encouraging you to share your own. You know what? If you've been feeling this way, share your own experience in the comments. I feel like I really want to open this up to discussion. I feel like a lot of people don't talk about this. I've heard some people talk about this. I've seen a couple posts, but not to this extent, I feel like. Not to the extent where we can all be completely open and honest with each other,
Type shit.
where we can really come to grips with how this game affects us both negatively and positively. Because again, I don't want this all to be negative. Because still, this game is still a good thing for me. It's brought me a lot of joy in my life. It's brought me this platform, something that I never thought I would have gotten, ever. It's giving me a lot of wonderful experiences. I met a lot of wonderful people. So going forward, I think I'm going to take a break from rank for a while. And
Type
I'm
shit.
just going to play some quick match with my friends.
That'll be nice.
I don't think I'm going to play much Hunter. Because, again, Hunter is much more stressful than Survivor.
Type
Because the
shit.
pressure is all on you. You have to be making a lot of quick decisions. If you mess up, that affects your whole game. Whereas with Survivor, if you mess up, there's a little bit more leeway because your
Teammates can carry you.
Please, y'all, don't force yourself to do anything. If you're playing Hunter and you find yourself stressing out over matches more than you find yourself having fun over matches, then stop playing Hunter. A little stress might be good. Like
A little
bit of
adrenaline
stress
spike, yeah.
is what encourages us to get better. But you have to find a balance. Find what works with you. Find what makes you the happiest. Get some other hobbies. I know that's scary. But
he just said go the fuck outside. He said get outside.
try it out. See where it leads you. Personally, it led me into a better path. And I'm excited to keep playing this game. I'm excited to get back into it. I'm excited to keep making more content. And I hope you all have a good day. Goodbye.
You as well. That was a good that was a good video. That was a good video. I like that.